Myself Sonu Jha, and today I'm going to start a new topic of 11th CBSE and NCRT syllabus, the plant physiology. The first chapter of plant physiology, that is a transport in plants. So these are the questions we will get answer in these videos and upcoming videos. So how water reaches the top of all trees? What are the substance moving from one cell to another, and why the substance moving from one cell to another cell? And if the movement happening, so what kind of movements we are talking about, and also what are the substance are we are looking for? So these are the questions you will get answer in this videos. So let's start with the. So the in flowering plant, the substance need to be transported are a water, minerals, nutrients, organic nutrients, and the plant growth regulators. These are the molecules are transported in the flowering plants, and that needs to be transported from one place to another place, that needs of a parts of a flowering plants. So if the transportation occur in a small distance, the substance move by a diffusion method, but the transported over a longer distance, that proceed through a vascular system. The vascular system, that is a phylum and xylem, that process transportation from a longer distance, that is known as translocation. Translocation is term suggests that changing a location, that is a translocation, when the substance move from a one part of a plant from another part of a plant, that is known as translocation. So what are the different substance moving from a one place to another place, and what are the direction of transport? It needs to study na कि what are the different directions. That is the first direction, unidirectional transport. Uni, it means suggests that is a one directional transport. Xylem, that is a upward directional transport. You can say the root absorbs the water and transported by the xylem from a root to leaves of a plant, and like what, and also minerals are transported. But in a multi-directional transport, the organic and the mineral nutrients undergo multi-directional transport. Yeah, what are the needs of organic and mineral nutrients? First thing, what do you mean by organic compound and how they are going to synthesize in a plant? So you all are study about the photosynthesis process in which the organic compound are synthesized in a photosynthetic leaves, so that organic compound are exported or transported to all the other part of a plant, including the storage body, for the energy utilization. And that time the minerals nutrients are taken up by the roots, and that transported upward to the stem, leaves, and the growing region. So when the any part of a plant are undergo sensitivity, or you can say the decreasing level of nutrients, when the plant parts are decrease the level of nutrients, at that time they are going to transport it and withdraw that nutrients from a that regions and move a growing part. So hence that the flowering plants, there is a complex traffic of compounds moving in a different directions, so each organ receiving us some substance and giving out us some others. So that is called as complex trafficking. Why it is called as complex trafficking? Because the each of a plant part are gaining something or giving something, that is known as complex trafficking. The other part, that is a means of transport. The molecules are transported from one part of a plant to the another part of a plant, but what are the modes of transportation? Why the molecules and how the molecules are get transported? There is a three modes of transportation. That is the first one is a simple diffusion, third one is the second one is a facilitated diffusion, and the last one is a active transport. In a simple diffusion, movement is occurs by a slow process, and it depend upon a concentration gradient and also in a permeability of a membrane, and the substance move in diffusion methods from a higher concentration to the lower concentration, so that there is no need of energy expenditure, no need of ATP utilization. So the rate of diffusion are affected by the gradient of concentration, how much concentration of a molecule are present and transported, the permeability of a membrane, the selectivity of a membrane is also affect the diffusion process. The temperature and pressure is also affect. If the higher pressure occur, the transportation get fast. If the temperature occur, it also depends, it also affect the rate of diffusion. In this picture you can say that there are 6 molecules of proteins are outside the cell, but there is no any protein inside the cell, so that the higher concentration occur outside the cell and lower concentration occur inside the cell. So the higher concentration transportation, there is no need of energy expenditure, where easily are going to diffuse or transport in this membrane. The other one, that is a facilitated diffusion, in which the lipid soluble particles easily diffuse, but the hydrophilic solutes molecules are facilitated or stopped by the membrane. So for the facilitated diffusion, membrane processes, aquaporin or water channels are required, because water are also hydrophilic, so that water channels are required for a hydrophilic solutes to transportation, so that aquaporins are membrane protein for passive transport of water soluble substance without utilizing of energy. And at a time we can also say that if the needs of utilization of energy, they can be utilized. So the protein channels in a membrane for molecule to pass through, and the pores of a protein are from huge pores in the outer membrane of plastids and mitochondria, so that the molecule are going to transport it. The water channel, how the water channel are getting made? There is 8 different types of aquaporins comes together to form a water channel. At that time the hydrophilic solids are going to transported. So in this image you can see that there is a molecules are going to transported by the using the certain water channels. So the transported molecules transport proteins are there, that proteins are utilized and helping in the transportation, so that in this process facilitated diffusion, the cell are going to select the substance for a uptaking, or you can say the for a diffusion. That's why the facilitated diffusion is very specific, and it also sensitive to the inhibitors. Why it is sensitive to inhibitors? Because it reacts with the protein side chain and blocking the water channels, so it cannot transport the protein, so that it needs the it not need the inhibitors. There are the some carrier proteins or a transport proteins that allow diffusion only if 2 types of molecules move together. When the 2 molecules are moved together, then are going to help the transportation. So what are the different process? That is a uniport. When the molecules move across a membrane dependent of other molecule. Uni means it is a one. When the molecules are going to transported not depending in a other molecule, that is independently movement, that is known as uniport. The another one is a symport. When the both the molecule, sim it means the same, so when both the molecule transport, or you can say the cross the membrane in the same direction, that is known as symport. and the another one, that is a antipod. Anti, it means the opposite direction. So when the two molecules move in opposite direction, that is known as antipod. The another one, that is a last process for a transportation and means of transport, that is a active transport, in which active transport that uses energy for a transportation, or also a pump molecule required for a transportation against a concentration gradient. So that active transport is carried out by the specific membrane protein. That specific membrane protein are a pump protein that uses energy for carrying the substance across the cell membrane, and these pumps can transport substance from a low concentration to the high concentration. That is also known as uphill transport. Uphill, it means the low to high, it going through uphill. And that transport, when the transport reaches the maximum, when all the proteins transporter are being to utilized or saturated, the levels of transporters are equal of both the side. At that time, the transport is a maximum. Yeah, understand? So there is a comparison between the transport mechanism, or you can also say that the differences between the three mechanisms. So in a simple diffusion, the special membrane protein is not required, but the other two, facilitated diffusion and active transport, special membrane protein is required, or helping the transportation. In a simple diffusion, there is no selective, but the facilitated and active transport is highly selective. The cells are going to select the substance for a movement or transportation. Simple diffusion, the transport do not saturate, but the facilitated diffusion, our transporters are equally, when the transporters are equal in both the process are going to saturate, transport are going to saturate. In a simple diffusion, there is a no uphill transportation, but the facilitated diffusion and active transport, it is uphill transportation. That means in a simple diffusion, the movement occurs in a higher concentration to the lower concentration, but the facilitated diffusion and the active transport that are going to process of a low concentration to the high concentration, that is known as uphill transportation. In a simple diffusion, there is no need of ATP energy, but the facilitated diffusion and in a facilitated diffusion also no use of ATP energy, but the active transport that uses energy for a transportation of low to high concentration, because it is a uphill transportation. And yeah, so hope you understand the topics at today's lecture also. So in the next videos, we are going to study about these 5 topics at these upcoming videos. So plant water relation, long distance transfer of water, transpiration, uptake and transport of mineral nutrients, and the phylem transport. These are the topics we are going to study in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned with this channel, and thank you very much for the watching.